Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oddfell and today we're going to be checking out some Powercon exclusives. These are the red and green translucent demons from D13's Biblical Adventures line. Powercon was an absolute blast this year and I ended up walking away with quite a sizable haul, so definitely expect to see some more videos on the horizon of some more awesome toys that I picked up at the event. So D13 is a toy brand currently focusing on their Kickstarter Biblical Adventures. A lot of their toys are based on historical art references, whether that's statues or paintings from the Renaissance, which make them extremely versatile collector's pieces. I think the designs they chose for their demons are really neat and I'm excited to take a closer look at them.
So before we get too far into these, I do want to note something first. Their Kickstarter isn't due to ship until the end of the year 2023, so these figures are kind of a special preview that were for fans who attended PowerCon 2023. While they are finished figures, they may not be 100% finalized in the details that make it to the final figure, and may have some mild issues that they're still working out in production, as they are still deep into their Kickstarter. Each of these figures is roughly 6 inches in height or 12th scale, and is made of translucent plastic. It's got this really beautiful black gradient paint on the limbs and the heads to draw focus, and this effect is also present on the wings, which we'll get to in a little bit. Each of these figures also comes with interchangeable heads, hands, and weapons, as well as wings and a base that you can click their feet into. As for the articulation, these guys are capable of anything. The shoulders have this butterfly joint that allows for tons of fun poses and a greater range of motion, on top of the usual ball-jointed shoulder and bicep swivels. Double-jointed at the elbows as well as wrist articulation and a ball joint to switch off the hands. I noticed that some of the joints and articulation in the arms were kind of stiff, but I know that these figures are still having the kinks worked out, but they still do allow for quite a range of motion. The neck is on a double joint, and there's an ab crunch hinge as well as a waist swivel to allow for torso movement. The lower half of these figures keeps it going with ball jointed hips, thigh swivels, double jointed knees, and some sturdy ankles to keep all your poses strong. And they have tiny little tails! Each of these figures come with interchangeable heads. Both of the heads that come with the green figure feature these greenish-yellow eyes. One of the heads looks more gaunt and goblin-like with an overbite and a teeth-bared expression, while the other one seems more dragon-like with horns and kind of an Oni-style face with really defined features. In contrast to that, the red figures' heads have more of a orangish-yellow cast to their eyes, as well as generally having rounder faces. While the first one does have Oni-like tusks, its face generally is more bat-like with long and pronounced ears and a really round and kind of Nosferatu-type disposition. While the other head definitely resembles an Oni with its mouth and nose shape, but also features small upright horns and large ears once again. Oh, and it has a forked tongue. Both figures seem to share the same body mold, which is largely bare to show off the translucent plastic and paintwork, but it does feature fur loincloths to keep them a little bit modest. We touched on the accessories briefly, but now it's time to dive a little more in. Each figure comes with interchangeable hands, whether they're in a fist, weapon-holding hands, or posed hands, which gives variety to the way you can pose these figures. They also both come with unique staff-based weapons, whether it's a bident or a flame staff, which gives them a little bit of variety from each other to stand out. They do also each come with a click-in base to put their feet into. One is kind of more flat, which also means it's more freeform and you can kind of pose your figure any way you want on it, while the other one has more of a sand pattern to it. And while I do think I like the sand textured base better, it does have footprints which imply where you probably should, air quotes, put the figure's feet, but you can still pose it any way you want. I do think the textured base has a little more personality though, so between the two, I think that one's my favorite. But the best of these accessories has to be the wings. Each demon has a unique pair of wings, kind of like how we were talking about the face sculpts. The red wings have distinct lines, cracks, they could be skin or they could be scales. These wings feel a lot more severe and sharp, and the musculature on the back really shines and shows that through. The green wings, on the other hand, are smooth and lithe and feel more like fantasy dragon wings with slightly different talons and layouts. The green wings are also a little bit smaller than the red wings and take up a different shape and profile. And the musculature on both being unique really is some next level stuff, making them feel like two completely different creatures. Both wings do feature really beautiful translucent to black gradients though.
Before we jump into my thoughts, let me know what you think of these little guys down below in the comments. At first glance, both of these figures seem kind of simple in design, but when you really start diving in and dissecting all the little things that make them not only unique from each other, but just detailed in general, it's really impressive. Whether or not it's the 4 different head sculpts, which all have very, very unique and honestly highly detailed expressions, or the wings that have varying musculature and textures, and everything about these is just beautiful. The colorways personally are really what make this shine for me. I love translucent plastics. I feel like they're really, really cool on action figures, and they always just catch light in such satisfying ways, especially here where they went in with black and really highlighted all the things that make these interesting sculpts. I think the black really accentuates that and really makes these next level in my opinion. Huge fan of these colorways, and hopefully we see something like this in the future from them as well. After seeing tons of poorly painted figures in my time, these ones really stick out as something special. I would highly suggest checking them out. These colorways are a little harder to find since they were Powercon exclusives, but they do have a gargoyle statuesque version and a normal red demon 2-pack that are available right now that I will link below. I think personally, I'm really excited to use these as night creatures alongside my Castlevania figures, but the uses for these little guys as army builders is almost endless. They'd be really good goons or demons or little bad guy army builders for a lot of different things, and overall the quality of them is just great. I would like to thank D13 for turning me on to these figures. I had never seen them before until Powercon, and I'm very, very excited about them. Getting to see historical recreations is always kind of cool, especially with little demons and gargoyles and archangels. It's really neat to see, not to mention the fact that they have accessory packs with one of the best Ark of the Covenants I've ever seen, which would be fantastic for Indiana Jones collectors, and honestly might end up on my shelf at some point for that very reason. If you end up wanting to check out D13 or any of their other figures, I will drop a link below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know what you would like to see me unbox next. Or if you would like to send me something directly, please check out my unboxing wishlist in the description below. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos just like this one. I will catch you next time, guys. See ya!
Special thanks to my patrons who make videos like this possible. And shout out to my Einor. Y, Vamp Hunter D, Andrew S, NY Nightwing, Sean S, and Crimson Hawk. Thank you so much for all your support.